teaching people that they're victims is so incredibly damaging and so incredibly dangerous. They did an experiment with a group of women, and they put scars on their faces, and they told these women that they're going into a job interview, and the purpose of the experiment is to find out whether people with facial disfigurements face discrimination. They showed them the scars in the mirror, and as they led them out of the room, they said, we're just going to touch it up a little bit. And as they touched it up, they removed the scarring completely. So the women went into the job interview thinking that they are scarred, but actually being their normal selves. And the result of the experiment is that those women then came back reporting massively increased level of discrimination. Many of them came back with comments that the interviewer had made that they felt were referencing their facial disfigurements. And this is why I think this ideology of victimhood is so dangerous, because if you preach to people constantly that we're all oppressed, then that primes people to look for that.
I find that so interesting, and I think it applies to many Black Americans today, because a lot of Black Americans have been raised, right, from an oppression mindset, passed down from generation to generation. I'm sure you heard me say this before, but when you've been brought up or raised that, hey, it's because your skin color, hey, it's because you're Black, hey, they don't expect you to be good, hey, you're not supposed to be good, right? You are primed, like you said, you're primed to then see everything through a racial lens and make everything about race, when in reality, it's not really about race the vast majority of the time. And then you then cause undue issues to yourself and your life because you're viewing things through the wrong lens. There are many Black Americans today that will treat someone as if they're racist when they're not racist because they're seeing everything through a racial lens, right? So they come at someone as if that person's racist when they're not racist, and then they damage that relationship, or they burn that bridge that they possibly could have had with that person. And in reality, a lot of other white people are going to retreat away from Black people because they don't want to be considered racist. They don't want to even give someone the opportunity to call them that and then damage their life. So they say, you know what? Better not to mess with it. I will stay away. And then as a result of white people staying away, Black Americans will then have less opportunities. So we really need to stop looking at everything through a racial lens. We need to stop making victimhood cool, and we need to focus on bettering and developing ourselves.